What's good, everybody? We are the Primo Suprimo podcast. We talk about the things you love, we love, and the things that we all hate. And today we're going to talk about something that we really do not like. Word to Chief Keef. But yeah, let me introduce my co-host. We got Chris over here.
Yo, what it is?
And you got me, Jeffrey. And today we're going to be talking about someone who starts with a K that we grew up with, that we're fans of, and that has really let us down recently. And that name is Kojima. It was not Kanye. We could also probably talk about Kanye too. He's another K.
Fucking guy. We can talk for like 8 hours about.
Yeah.
But yes.
Death Stranding has been reviewed as an 84 on Metacritic, which surprised me. I thought it was going to be met with universal acclaim like Phantom Pain. But my theory, which is basically what I saw from the freaking trailers, were pretty much proven right. That the game is a fake deep, artsy-fartsy story with shallow gameplay, which pretty much is nothing but fetch quests. It's basically side mission the game.
Yeah. How one person reviewed it, it is a social media delivery simulator. All you do is just fucking walk around and you try not falling. Because you got to put your guy with a bunch of, packs and shit like that. So when you walk around, you got to walk around the rocky terrain. You got to make sure you don't fall. So half the time you're just balancing your guy out.
You're basically doing a manual on Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
The whole time.
You got to jiggle the whole left. And you got to jiggle the left. You got to jiggle to the right. No. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me que it's like Jeff said, it's an intellectuals game. An intellectuals game. That sounds like, we made a shitty game, so you're stupid if you don't understand it or don't like it. Get the fuck out of here.
And the only good thing I'd see from this game is the graphics and the art style. But everything else I see, I'm not really impressed. It looks like it's a lot of inventory management. You see him carrying this backpack with like 500 packages on it. I'm sure you have to select each and every one. I believe when you fall, you have to pick them up and put them back on.
After you get into a boss fight, you have to pick everything up.
Yeah. More fetch quests.
Yeah.
And once you finish the fetch quest, the goal of that fetch quest is, hey, here's another fetch quest for you to do. So it's just back and forth fetching packages. This is Amazon. They freaking say whatever you want, but they try to introduce drones. Like they were already trying to speed this process up, trying to make it more efficient. It's the future, and this guy's doing it on foot still.
No, but remember, it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but he's got all this freaking. He got the tech to carry 500 fucking packages.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy is that they have the tech for the 500
and teleport
and teleport, but then they sit here and
no, he has a teleporting umbrella. And number one, you can't carry it with you in the game. You got to carry it in base. So if you want to fast travel, you got to walk to your base.
And then you got to see like 8 different cutscenes.
Yeah, but that kind of destroys that's kind of a plot hole right there. Because if you had the teleported umbrella, why the fuck are you delivering shit on foot? Why don't you just put all the stuff in your backpack, grab the umbrella, and teleport to where you got to deliver it to, you dumbass?
Great point. Great fucking point. That's true, man. This guy, Hideo Kojima, the guy, mind you, if you're out here listening to this and you play video games, the guy, you know the name. He's a famous director of video games. He directed one of the greatest series of all time and ruined, in my eyes, which is Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
I've been a fan of it since I was a teenager. My friends and I have been fans. Jeff has been a fan of it since he was a kid. And this guy just... his ego is immense. He gives no credit to anybody. Everything that he does, supposedly he does it by himself, when in reality he's getting millions of dollars to make these video games. And he just constantly, with his arrogance, makes it seem as if he's creating this new and different type of video game. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I get the artsy-fartsy games. But if you're going to make an artsy-fartsy game, you got to at least make it entertaining. Dude. Journey, to me, was one of the most artsy-fartsy games that I've ever played. But even that game was fucking entertaining and fun.
No, you know what's funny? That the critics said Death Stranding is not a fun game. Like that's how a review led the freaking review off with.
Yeah.
This is not a fun game. When you think of games, they were created for people to pass time and have fun in arcades at a shopping mall or the laundromat. Games
Even
are always fun.
Fucking Mario is funner than
Yeah. No, yeah. Mario's one of the greatest. And it takes a game freaking I think the guy in the review, he said he didn't pick up a weapon until like
10 hours into
in,
the game.
10 20 hours in.
10 fucking hours.
No, and the game is like 40 hours, and the guy in another review, he said that he spent about 4 hours in that 40 sneaking, scouting and fighting.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Kiss my fucking
So
ass.
you're really telling me that it's either, and it's much like Kojima, it has mad cutscenes too. It's another very heavy cutscene game. So you go from boring gameplay to cutscenes where it's just trying to be over the top metaphors, like metaphors to the point where like, what are you even trying to say? Like, or I get what you're saying, but like it's not even cool.
Yeah, it's supposedly it's a critique on what? Like the game. They said it was a critique on
Probably climate change.
yeah, climate change or something like that. But nah, man. I honestly was a huge fan of this guy until he made Metal Gear Solid 5.
He made him.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. He and I say he, you know, with the fingers, the fingers.
Because every freaking mission, he reminded us that he directed it.
Oh yeah, and
he wrote it, he composed, he produced it.
For people who don't
special
know,
thanks to Hideo Kojima.
yeah. So yeah, special thanks to Hideo Kojima. Yeah, here's the thing: for people who are listening and don't know what we're talking about, this guy used to make this series called Metal Gear Solid, and it was a very action or stealth based game, meaning that you can run in guns a blazing, or not even kill anybody in the game and still beat the game. So there's different ways to play it. There was very good character development. There was good action. The graphics were good in the games. All these games were on point. And then he makes part 5. They make part 5, which the trailers made it seem as if it was going to be Apocalypse Now for you movie buffs out there. If you've watched Apocalypse Now, I thought that the main character was going to go the same way as Sergeant Schultz. That's Marlon Brando's character in that movie. I thought that's what was going to happen. This great soldier has risen to the peak of his mission, and he just starts to lose his mind. And they're going to play that out in the way that Metal Gear usually plays out. But no, they ruined it. They ruined it in my eyes in every way, shape, and form. They gave us an open world game that was just empty. But it gave you different ways to attack each mission. But to me, every mission was the same. It was the same thing. Either go save somebody, go find something, or take something out. It wasn't fun for me. It just got dumber and dumber as the game kept fucking playing out. And then the twist at the end, I'm not gonna ruin it if you haven't fucking played the game, even though I should ruin it for everyone. But Jeff doesn't like it when I do that to people, so I'm gonna just keep it to myself, even though the ending is trash. It was like one of those M. Night Shyamalan shitty endings where it's like twists, but not really.
There's no climax. There's no build-up.
Yeah,
it just happens.
There's not even a real bad guy. If you ask me, there isn't even a real bad guy. The bosses, because in most games you fight, a wave of like minions, and then a semi-stronger guy, and then somebody that's stronger than that, and then
in this game you just fight the skulls a bunch of fucking times.
Yeah, you fight these like soldiers who are like zombie soldiers, like super zombie soldiers who have no backstory. You don't know where the fuck they come from. They just show up. They have superpowers, and
no, you find out.
But then how is it you find out?
Probably through a tape.
Yeah, you got, instead of the game doing what
he
it
went
did,
from cutscene to podcast.
Exactly. And then the thing is that cutscenes because in part 4, the game takes place in what year?
14.
2014, mind you. The game came out in 2008.
Yeah.
So, give it a break. So he went from a bunch of cutscenes in 2013 to podcasts in 1984. And that's another thing about that motherfucking game. The technology, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. At all. Because it, like Jeff said, it takes place in 1984, and then you're fighting robots that seem more advanced than the robots you fight in what is it, 1990?
Which one?
In the first Metal Gear that takes
2005.
Yeah, the first Metal Gear takes place in 2005, but the robots are practically on the same level of sophistication. Get the fuck out of here! Like it takes away from the game. To me, it takes away from the game. I hate when
it's very Star Wars.
Yeah, it just takes away from it. It was just fucking stupid. So wait, the technology from 21 years before the game came out, before this take place, is more advanced like that. That shit doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking whack. It's, and you can say, oh, you're just harping on stupid shit. No, because this game is it's a lead up. Like, these stories lead up to something, and it just takes away, and it's fucking stupid. It's fucking whack. And then with this Death Stranding, all that this asshole does is add famous actors.
Well, he did that with Part 5. People were mad at Konami because they supposedly fired Hideo for no reason. Well, he fired David Hayter for no reason and brought in Kiefer Sutherland, who came in with a drowsy, freaking unforgettable performance. It was the most forgettable shit. While David Hayter, he's an iconic voice. You associate the character with him.
Yeah,
you never think about Snake without David Hayter. And that was the first kind of strike for me. And then the second was that they released a $30 demo. I think it was $40 when it came out. An hour long in a small ass freaking map. That map is so small, it's a multiplayer map in the actual freaking game.
Holy shit.
In Ground Zeroes. And it was an hour long, 5 side missions, $40.
And just to give you guys some context for, again, the people who are listening to this and don't understand, when Jeff mentions David Hayter, he was the original voice actor, like the guy who played the main character of the series. He was the main character. And the guy who made the game, the Japanese guy, Hideo Kojima, he fucking fired him. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm sure Jeff probably does, or he's probably heard something.
Well, he's been trying to replace him since Part 3. He wanted, I think it was Jeff Bridges or Kurt Russell to play him. And then he couldn't.
I want to slap the shit out of that fucking
Yeah. And he had to re-audition. Every time he played Snake, he had to re-audition.
Yeah, because he's an asshole.
Like, the character that is... The voice that's synonymous with the character has to re-audition because this guy's ego wants a Hollywood actor. And now he's got one that I don't care about. Do you care about Norman Reedus? I'm sorry, Norman, but...
Yeah, who the fuck...
who are you?
Cares?
Yeah.
Like, what has he done? The Walking Dead?
I don't watch that.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't read the books.
Yeah.
And I haven't even watched... I watched the first episode and I was done.
Yeah, I'm good. And his character's not even in the comic. He's a filler character.
The being guy. Oh,
and now you got Monster Energy drink.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if fucking Halo had Mountain Dew or Doritos in there.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets shit on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and yeah, it just makes no sense, dude.
The
thing that survived is Monster.
World, but then Monster and Monster cans are the only thing that survived.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sure somebody's already beaten it, and I'll just watch. I'll read about the story.
I'm gonna get it when it comes to PC. It's funny when people were canceling their pre-order because they released it on PC when they revealed that news. Some people are really mad about that, man. And it's funny because it reminds me of when he put that tweet out where he's like, "Oh, in this little office is where I started Kojima Productions 3 years ago. Here I am today releasing my game." It's like, dude, you had the biggest freaking gaming console behind you, bro. You had Sony.
Exactly.
You did not start in a little closet.
Exactly. It isn't like it's 1994.
A closet in a giant freaking Sony building.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's the building's owned by Sony. You fucking jerk. And I'm sure that was just day one so you can meet your team. The fuck out of here.
And I feel like we gotta go into the history of him and the whole Konami thing.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I gotta break it down.
Yeah, please put it out there for people who, again, I'm gonna help the people who don't know what the hell's going on or what Jeff's saying. But again, this guy, he's the director, the writer, right? Or he's
One
the
of the
co-writer
writers
of the games,
Yeah,
and he's producer.
yeah, I think
Right.
probably.
So now you've heard some of his rap report, people, right? This guy made a great video game series, shat on it on the fifth one. He shat the bed on the fifth one. The main actor for the main character in the show, in the game, he's had to pretty much try out every time he makes a new one. Then he finally fires him because of whatever reason. And then he makes the shittiest game in the entire series. That's bullshit. That's as if in the middle of them making Iron Man, for who, again, people who don't play video games or not that deep into the games. Imagine watching your favorite TV show and then the main character, they switch him out for a shitty version. They just switch him out. Fifth episode or fifth season or into the series that you've invested so much time into, and they just change the main character. And then after doing that, he just makes a shitty game. Like, imagine that, the fifth season of your favorite TV show, they switch the main character, and then that season it's just complete shit. That's. Continue, Jeff. Just continue.
Well, he didn't just create Metal Gear Solid. He created the stealth genre, where you have to sneak instead of all-out attack. And he did that because the hardware that he was working on, the Microsoft Extend computer, the MSX. Yeah, Metal Gear started with Microsoft, surprisingly. But when he was working on that, it wasn't possible to do a game with a continuous screen. It'd have to be a static screen. So you'd have to move from square to square, room to room, if you get what I'm saying. So he couldn't really make an action game with that. It was just too limited. So he made the stealth game. He made Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. Then they released the shitty version on the Nintendo. The one that you played on Nintendo is not the real one that he did. Completely different story, level, everything. It's a horrible game too. So yeah, he did the third game in the series, Metal Gear Solid, and that's when games really became cinematic because it had full voice acting. All the cutscenes, none of them were those shitty mannequin cutscenes from Final Fantasy VII. They look cool, but the game didn't look like that. The cutscenes look just like the game. They're all in-engine. He also pioneered in that front too. And just the high level of writing in that game. Him and his co-writers did their freaking thing. And he brought in Yoji Ishikawa, amazing artist. Please check him out. The greatest video game artist ever, I'd say. Him and the
guy for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, him and the guy from Marvel vs. Capcom, Bengus. He's one of the greats.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, so he pretty much made his way up to in the ranks to Konami. He proved that Metal Gear was their most successful franchise from like the 90s and the 2000s. More so than Castlevania and Frogger and all their old games. So he was pretty high up. So in like 2010 or 12, around there, mobile games started being big, and Konami had this mobile guy. He was doing this little card game. It was a cheap game to make, and it was making some good money. And he approaches Hideo. Yo, Hideo, would you like to put Metal Gear characters in my card game, bro? And Hideo's like, psh, mobile games, yeah, fuck out. He pretty much acted like a dick and told this guy off.
Arrogance. Again, his fucking arrogance.
Yeah, fucking mobile game. All right, look, if I was Hideo, why would you not want a DLC card pack?
Yeah, think about
on another
that.
game. All the revenue you'd get.
Yeah, exactly. As a consumer, as a person who likes the games, I don't play mobile games because I just don't. But as a company, you would think the smart business decision, or even for him, that makes these games, shit, I've created these characters, I might as well fucking lend them out and make some money on the side with this too. But no.
Exactly.
The guy has an ego, and he doesn't fuck with mobile games because, Real Scorsese type of fucking attitude.
Pretty much.
With the mobile games, just shitting on the games. Again, as a consumer, I don't spend my money on that, but there is a group of people in the world that buy that type of shit, and they spend money on it.
No, and the funny freaking thing is,
yeah.
the funniest thing is, that's basically free advertisement. That's a free game that a little kid could buy, and a random old lady could buy, a random person who doesn't have a PlayStation or Xbox could buy. And if they see, ooh, Big Boss, Naked Snake, who's that? Who's Solid Snake? Who's Otacon? And they'll look into these cards, find out it's from Metal Gear Solid, and they'll buy Metal Gear Solid. It's marketing.
Exactly.
And he said no. Well, turns out that this is the most successful game in Konami's history, I believe. This mobile game. And they pretty much moved that guy up fast. That guy had a really high position. And he remembered what little Hideo boy did. But it's not entirely that man's fault, though. Because Hideo, he was working on Metal Gear Solid 5. Taking a long time. The game took like 5 years to make. And Konami wanted him to finish the game. He'd keep asking for it to be delayed. He'd keep asking for more money. And he's like, and Konami's thinking, hey, we got this mobile guy over here. He's making us this quick game. It's not costing us shit, but it's bringing us in so much money. So Hideo, you gotta finish this game. And what does Hideo do? He announces, I'm working on another game, Silent Hill. Konami's like, whoa. You gotta finish Metal Gear, bro. And what Hideo did was he went behind Konami's back, teamed up with a guy from PlayStation to upload the Silent Hill demo on the PlayStation Store. So Konami told him to hold off on Silent Hill before making Metal Gear Solid. Then he freaking does this out to give people the expectation that he's making Silent Hill when his priority should have been on finishing his freaking masterpiece, supposedly Metal Gear Solid 5. So it was perfectly right for Konami to fire Hideo Kojima. The man was just playing with their money. He was not listening to their shit. And the guy, obviously, he was pretty mad at what he did to him years earlier. And this, in the addition with just the terrible writing in Metal Gear Solid 5. Although I think the gameplay is phenomenal, like the controls and the graphics, phenomenal. The missions, yeah, they weren't the best. The characters, the villains just were not iconic. It was not the same as Dead Cell. It was not the same as the Beauty and the Beast core. It was not the same as Foxhound. It really wasn't. Quiet, an iconic character. She's iconic because she's in a bra. Really, that's really the only reason. And she doesn't talk. There really wasn't much else to her. Ocelot, super boring in this game. Cold Talker, barely in the friggin' game. And Skullface, yeah, he's another villain that I just did not care for. And yeah, so here he is at Sony. He pretty much could release a shit sandwich and get praised for it. Because the game looks way worse than what it actually has in the Metacritic. And 84 is a really good score. But for a game that's been described as boring, daunting, annoying, and what the fuck was
to me,
called the side
honestly,
quest
it
game?
looks like a fucking cash grab. That's what it looks like. He says that, like I told Jeffrey the other day, because we were having this conversation that finally led up to this, is that it says, oh, it's his passion project. Motherfucker, make that shit your passion project. Make that game for yourself and play it at your house. Don't throw this shit out to the public, because then you're gonna have these assholes out there, because you know these people exist everywhere, where they just follow, you know, these people blindly, and everything that they make is just great. Everything that they make is great, and it's pristine and it's perfect. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Wait a minute. If I wanted to fucking play that game, I'd watch a delivery man do his job the entire day. That's all I would do. Get out of here.
Funny, because I am a delivery man, and it gets pretty boring. And they even describe that it's basically a delivery simulator with Hideo Kojima Spotify playlist.
Oh god! And then yeah, that's the other thing. He gets all these. He's like this music that to him is experimental and all this other shit, and it's just like, whatever, dude. You're just playing some some indie shit because you're one of these hipsters that just wants to be different. And it's like, no, bro. You made some shit, you like shit, and get out of here. Go back to actually putting some effort into your games.
Well, he's really a one-trick pony if you think about it, because they call him the legendary gaming mastermind Kojima. He's really the legendary Metal Gear mastermind, because what else has he done?
Yeah. And to be honest, what did those games do differently? Like, gameplay-wise, in the sense of, mixing it up. And
Well,
I understand that they stick to a
Metal Gear Solid 3.
That they stick to
The camo.
to a certain regimen. Yeah, but camo's just hiding.
Yeah, but it adds a whole lot more immersion, though.
Yeah, but Manhunt, you had to hide in that.
Yeah, you hide in Metal Gear 1, too.
Nah, but exactly. So, like, the camo, if you
That's
hide,
just the next evolution. That and the cure system, the surgery. And then...
And to me, it didn't really. When you look at them from the outside,
the movement of Part 5, man. Oof.
And don't get me wrong, I love those games, but it's true. He just made one series, and that was it. He made one series.
He produced Zone of the Enders. He didn't make it.
Exactly.
And he did Snatcher and Police Knots, but those are visual novel games. Those aren't really games. Those are
there's
just
no real gameplay.
Yeah,
to
there's
them.
no gameplay.
All you do is like read it.
Yeah. And those were 20-something years, 30 years ago, those games.
Yeah. So
here he is making something else, and it looks a lot like freaking Metal Gear. He still has that DNA in it. The freaking menus look just like the iDroid. And it looks like he really doesn't have much besides stealth. Because he really came up with fetch quests. Like, he came up with the most mundane missions that everybody else hates in other open world games. And he made a game centered around just that.
Yeah.
Which it proves how out of touch has this guy really been. Like, has he not been playing recent games?
Exactly.
Has he not been reading what people have been saying about other games? He's just calling his Hideo bubble, bro. That's just when what you get with Hideo Kojima is what happens when you just don't tell somebody no. Like, no one's ever told him no, except Konami. And yeah.
And then they were demonized by the video game media.
That what he did to the franchise, the story, he should have been. I would have fired him too.
Yeah, and the thing is, for people who don't play, again, whoever's listening to this that doesn't play video games, just go into YouTube and just try to look up the story of the game series that we're talking about. And you're going to see that the game takes a shit on itself by the fifth one. On the fifth one, you're like, what happened here? Nothing. It's like this guy just threw together some gameplay. He made it real pretty. Again, it's a pretty looking game. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not, but that's it. It's just a pretty game. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. If you want me to like your game, it has to be a complete package. To me, at least.
I'm getting it on PC just to look at it.
Yeah,
because that's all the game really has to offer, and
it's not worth no $60. I hope
might.
You don't get it for no $60. I hope you get it for like $5.
I don't know. I might. Cause I don't know.
I'm not gonna give that guy $60.
I'll do it. And it's weird. It's pretty cool seeing like a Sony engine on PC. I'd like to see how that looks.
Is that even gonna come out on PC?
Yeah,
it is.
Summer 2020.
Holy shit. Okay. That's dope. But yeah, man.
And the modders will probably make it a really good game.
For real.
The modders will fix it.
For real. They actually give it real missions and shit, and stuff to do. Give it real customization. And something else that I hate is that he announces all these famous... and it's okay, they're famous. The most famous one out of everybody there was it Guillermo del Toro?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen is more famous than...
He's in like A-list movies in front of the camera.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Because I think Guillermo del Toro's won like awards. So
yeah, but not everybody knows directors.
That's true. Yeah, so Mads Mikkelsen is in the game. Guillermo del Toro's in the game. Norman Reedus is in the game. Isn't there some, who's the chick? There's some girl in
The
the
chick
game?
from the Death Note movie, I forgot what else she was in. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
There you go, like just these actors. And the thing is that I look at them and it's like that's not
Conan.
Conan fucking O'Brien
With the freaking otter suit.
Huh?
With the otter suit.
Fucking Christ. But like what I'm saying is you're looking at Norman Reedus. This isn't like a movie. You know what I mean? When you're looking at him,
yeah, Troy Baker, bro.
Yeah, like you see him on screen, and on the screen watching the game, and it's like, oh, this guy's name is because I don't even know his name in the fucking game.
Who? Norman
Reedus.
Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges, whatever his name is, Bridges. I don't think that's the character. Like when I see Norman Reedus in the game, I don't think, yeah, that's this guy. No, I think that's Norman Reedus, and that's Mads Mikkelsen or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And no, that's Guillermo del Toro. It would have been cooler if you would have made a brand new design, like a brand new character design, and just gave him that voice, and then promoted the game like that. Like, oh, Norman Reedus is voicing this character. It's not Norman Reedus playing Norman Reedus with a different name. Because to be honest, from what I can tell, the guy has the same personality as Norman Reedus does, as Norman Reedus has in The Walking Dead.
Damn, I didn't really notice any personality in any of the things I've seen.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so Norman.
That's what I fucking mean.
Norman, you're not going to be in our top 5 anytime soon, bro.
No, there's no fucking way that guy's good. He better give me a performance in a movie or something that blows me away before I can become a
Boondock Saints was cool, but nah.
Yeah, man.
Not enough for you to be leading games.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the guy from freaking... I'm a freaking reader. The guy from Society leading a game.
Holy shit, Society. How many people have even heard of that movie?
That movie's on Amazon.
Yeah, go watch that. We watched that for our last
Halloween.
movie for Halloween, for last October. And that movie was crazy. Jeff was more awake than I was because I was passing out. But I would really suggest everyone watch it because the special effects are some of the craziest you'll ever see in a 1980s movie. Was that an 80s movie?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would suggest everyone watch that so you can be grossed out. It's hysterical.
But yeah, all in all, Death Stranding is what I thought it was. People, and the saddest thing is how people were hyping this game without seeing a single gameplay footage, like a single footage of gameplay. And then they show the gameplay and they're like, "Oh no, that can't be it." Now there's more to it. There's really not. And when the shit that's more to it, like the good stuff that you get in the game, like being able to build stuff and ride vehicles, that's all to deter from the core gameplay. That's all to just avoid the core gameplay.
Exactly. Like you'll be using those parts of the game more than the actual walking, because who the fuck wants... Imagine playing Grand Theft Auto again, an open world game. For people who don't play video games and are listening to this, I'm sure you've heard of Grand Theft Auto. Imagine playing that game and walking from one side of the map to the other side, and that's all you can do. Just walk. And then on occasion you might use a car. How fucking boring is that?
And nothing's in the map.
Yeah, there's
GTA,
nothing in the
there's
map.
people and buildings.
Yeah, and at least Grand Theft Auto, you can run somebody over, you can punch somebody in the face.
Ass.
This is just walking.
Ass, bro.
And walking and more walking.
It's a walking simulator.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And you dead ass have to balance, and you could trip on rocks. It's a real walking simulator.
Yeah. Because then if you trip on the rocks, there runs a chance of you dropping your fucking packages. And then if you drop your packages, you have to walk over to them and pick them up again. And then, from what I understand, every time you make a delivery, you connect with them. Like, you connect the world.
Yeah, there's a like system, but the likes do nothing.
I thought the likes were like that episode of Black Mirror where you pay for shit. Oh, fuck. What the hell? Yeah, I thought it was like that episode of Black Mirror where you pay everything with your likes.
And I don't know. I don't know if they said it really was nothing more than a pat on the back. Like, hey, good job. And they have the typical Dark Souls thing. Well, not typical, but they copied Dark Souls where you could leave messages for people. And there's a lot of trolls who lead you into bottomless pits, who lead you into freaking dead ends.
So parents, if your child asks you this holiday season to buy them Death Stranding, just make them walk to the store.
Yeah.
And tell them that's what the game is. And then make them walk back.
You gotta piss and shit in the game.
Yeah.
Because you actually use that for resources.
Exactly. And then that's another thing. Like, you have to maintain the guy as he's walking. You have to maintain him. You have to fucking make sure he drinks. Like Jeff just said, you have to make sure that he shits and he pisses. And then there's these random hot baths that look like they're like they're gonna melt your skin, but no, him and then his baby in a package. Yeah, that. I don't even want to get into that because I don't even understand it.
When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, yo, is this a pregnant man? What was that Schwarzenegger movie?
Yeah, what was what?
There's a movie where Schwarzenegger was pregnant.
Yeah, I forget the name of that movie.
And the first trailer is this guy with a baby strapped to him, an umbilical cord. He's naked on the beach, and there's dead whales. Kojima, I don't know what's with him and whales, because there's whales in part 5
of Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. Now, yeah, I still don't get the babies. I don't want to learn about the babies. I don't care about it.
They're ghost detectives or detectors.
Yeah, they detect ghosts.
And when you run into those ghosts, it's either... I hear that the boss fights are stupid easy.
Yeah, you gotta throw blood on them.
It looks like you're always throwing grenades. It's just
it's blood.
But yeah.
It's fucking blood. Man.
And then when you run into the NPC version of those, I guess the other versions, like the henchman version, all you gotta do is crouch and walk slowly. They describe this game as a personal attack on the speedrunning community. And I hope speedrunners find invisible walls and just shit to speed through it.
I hope the people that do that, I hope they break the fucking game over and over and over and over. Because it's so fucking dumb.
Tedious.
And I swear, then there's gonna be these assholes out there, Jeff, who are gonna come on and be like, no, you just don't understand the game.
They're already doing that, and they haven't even played it.
Yeah, they themselves haven't played it. And they're out here defending it. Just because it's made by this guy. And shit, I haven't played it, and I'm bashing it.
Yeah.
But guess what? From what I've read about it already, yeah, I
really
wouldn't
just
play that
repeating
shit.
what other people are saying.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that because from the gameplay, that 40-minute gameplay that they showed,
yeah,
that's what it was. And if that's what it is,
and that's what they're describing it as,
yeah, if that's what it is, if everything that was shown is being talked about because of that's all that the game has, then no, thank you. Y'all can kiss my motherfucking ass with that shit. Don't fucking bring no goddamn game. Fucking walk around. Shit. Get out of here. I'm gonna spend no $60 on a fucking game that just makes you walk around and just connect people on social media, because that's the thing. That's the point of the game. You gotta walk across the entire United States to connect people back up together. And apparently the only way is through social media. What a stupid concept, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Something that people on the regular bash, which is social media, for disconnecting people. Now it's being used to actually connect people. Look.
Probably what it's intended for.
Yeah.
A very idealistic way of looking at social media, Hideo.
Yeah. Fucking stupid.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard probably for him to look at it other ways because he's like the media darling. Before this, no one said a single bad thing about Kojima. They never asked the question of what was Konami. They never asked for Konami's side. I had to watch a weird-ass YouTube video to even find out. And even him, he was trying to frame it as Hideo was right. I'm like, dude, do you even hear what you're saying?
Right.
Like, what I'm hearing is this guy was a fucking asshole who was mismanaging money, time, and just was not complying. Like, he just wasn't thinking business. He just was not a business-savvy person.
Yeah, and getting away with it because he made
a genre.
4 good games.
I still consider 5 a good game. It's just not a good Metal Gear game. And it's a series that's known for the story, and the story, which was a really big letdown, man. And people, here's another thing. People also made it seem like Konami fucked him over by distancing him from his team, and that he couldn't complete the game. Number one, what was missing from the game was an extra chapter, which was just a mission where you fight the same boss for the third time. So that you're missing a few cutscenes and a recycled boss fight. That's really all. Which that probably could have been done in a few weeks.
Yeah, man.
Then they say he got separated from his team. Check out Kojima Station. There's two web shows, a web show for us and Japan, where you see Hideo and his team do weekly developer updates up until like a few months before release, which the last few months of game releases are just fixing bugs. It's not really legit developing the game. So he was with his team months before the game, only a few months before the freaking game got finished. Yet you're saying Konami fucked him over and distanced him from his team? They gave him a fucking show with his team. Like, they gave him everything.
I didn't even know that shit. That's fucking crazy.
They gave him everything. And he just was acting like an ass, bro.
Straight asshole.
Yeah, man. Egomaniac, dude. And every friggin' mission, he puts his name in the credits. Like, every mission. Well, to top it off, every box art for his game says a Hideo Kojima game. The most legendary developer is Miyamoto. He created most of the Nintendo games. None of those games say a Miyamoto game.
That's true.
Because he doesn't have an ego. He just makes games for the sake of making games. Kojima is to stroke his fucking ego. And then when Konami took it off the box art, people were like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Why does he?" I had no problem with it because, like, why was it there in the first place? And if you play the game, every mission in the beginning it says directed by Hideo Kojima, written by Hideo Kojima, produced, designed. His name is all throughout, plastered all throughout the game. So why the fuck do you need it on the cover?
And then the son of a bitch at one point puts himself in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then he puts himself in the game to be rescued, which some people took it as symbolism, as being rescued from Konami. Go fuck yourself.
And it's funny because you could play as every other soldier, but you can't play as Hideo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a pussy.
Yeah.
He's a pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
Yeah, he was in Peace Walker too.
That guy, yeah. Fuck that guy.
So yeah, we went on about him enough. Want to talk about Kanye?
Kanye. What did you want to say about Kanye?
Well, his latest gospel album. What you think?
Oh, bro, it's a gospel album. I wasn't gonna listen to that shit. I had a good laugh with his Halloween shit. Did you see when he dressed up him and his entire family as a bunch of characters from Galaga?
Galaga?
Galaga, yeah. They look like a bunch of fucking worms.
Damn, I thought he was dressed as the Flintstones.
No, that was one. That was one of them. And then there was another picture that came out. These motherfuckers look like a bunch of centipedes. For real, they look like a bunch of centipedes.
Damn, bro, imagine being rich enough to have multiple Halloween costumes.
No, and not only multiple, but expensive shit.
Yeah.
No, and Heidi Klum, did you hear about her?
Nah.
11 hours to put on her fucking costume.
And where'd she go? To like some show?
I don't know. I better have been a fucking expensive Halloween costume party or some shit.
I know.
You know who designed it? That South Korean artist Kim Jong.
Kim Jong?
Yeah, he designed the.
What was the costume of?
Some weird like techno, fucking monster shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. It was pretty fucking dope. Well, it made it doper when I actually saw that he made that, because he's one of my favorite modern artists when it comes to that shit. But it was pretty cool, man, to see that fucking Kanye fall on his face.
And people are actually kind of acknowledging it this time.
No, yeah, it's good. It's good that people are actually going, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" Because did you hear about what he said? That he got a $16 million or some fucking $1 million tax break because God gave it to him because he saw that he was a Christian.
Right. And what does that do for the schools that could have used that tax money?
Bro,
the roads that could have used that tax money.
Just him saying that stupid shit. Just no. Forget where that money could have been. Just him saying that sounds ridiculous. God gave me those millions in tax break because I am a Christian.
Yeah, and how many other fucking Christians are starving in this country?
For real.
Where's their tax break?
Exactly.
Dog, they deserve a fucking fast break.
God damn. It's the guy's gone off the rails now. I'm not saying that because he's fucking Christian or whatever. It's just that now he's gone legit crazy. He's gone legit off the rails with this shit already. And he's gone. I don't think he's ever going to come back.
Well, the thing with Kanye, as far as going crazy, he's been saying wild shit for the past few years, since like 2016. After Pablo, yeah. That's when I knew this dude was weird. And just the way he talks, dude, he's the way he sentences structures is not the same.
Yeah,
I mean, structure sentences, yeah, his just speech patterns off. Number one, he'd be saying he always keeps contradicting himself, because in freaking crack music, he's over here talking about all the war on drugs with the Republican presidents and all this shit. Now he's over here talking about freaking the Democrats did this and that. Yeah, the Democrats in 1884. Yeah, here you were 10 years ago talking about the Republicans from 1984 and their war on drugs. Like, you just forgot about that, Kanye?
No, yeah, of course. It's a person who I honestly feel is mentally deteriorated.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think he's on a. At first, honestly, I thought maybe he could have been on the spectrum. But I think it's more that he's just a fucking like, he lost it. Like the death of his mother and all that shit that 1 year. I really feel like he lost his shit that around that time. Like, he started to really, 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 really crack.
Yeah.
At that point in time. And I'm sure other shit that people probably don't know about, expedited the mental fracture that you see today. And it's not a pretty sight. Even in his music, it's not. It doesn't to me, it just doesn't even sound good.
It had a few songs that sounded good, but lyrically, nothing stood out to me. Kanye usually has quotable bars, shit that you'd put on a fucking t-shirt. His lines, nothing here stood out. We didn't even have a Bleach asshole caliber line. I guess the Chick-fil-A one, but even then, that shit. I saw that coming a mile away. When I saw Closed on Sundays, I'm like, oh, it's a Chick-fil-A song. And then it was true. And it's funny. It's his second album with no cursing since 808s. I could have used a few F-bombs, no joke. He told the people who were featured on it to abstain from sex.
What?
Like, no premarital sex while you're working with me.
Yeah, he's fucking losing it. This is the same man that has the line, "Eating Asian pussy, all I need was sweet and sour sauce."
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
That's why I find a lot of these born again Christians to be full of shit. Like, get out of here. You cannot say what you just said. And how in the great show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the great Danny DeVito says, there's some dicks that you just can't unsuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't come around and act as if you're this holy.
No, yeah, didn't he get with Kim? Like, wasn't he like first seeing her while she was with somebody else?
I don't know. I don't know. No, yeah, I don't know. But all I do know is that he got with Amber Rose while she was a stripper. Like, word?
Yeah.
How holy is that? Motherfucker Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here, bro. Get out of here,
yeah,
man.
That's what 30 Hours is about.
Yeah.
Him seeing her while she was with someone else.
Yeah, man. Get out of here, man.
And the funny thing is Drake wrote that. There's another thing. Like, with Hideo, he's a guy. He had a few co-writers. They get no credit. And they left. And that's when the writing kind of went down. Kanye, he's had a bunch of fucking co-writers. And when they're not there, we get shit like this. So, yeah I don't know, dude. He's like another Drake, dude. You never know. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, he's become very, very, very inconsistent with his music, man.
Yeah, I forget the name of the video. I forget it. There's a radio show, And it was a 15th anniversary of this 90s radio show, and you could hear Rhymefest rap Jesus Walks in like 2000 on this radio show. The first verse, word for word. I forget. I think it's called the Halftime Show, 15 years.
Really?
So if you want to hear the original Jesus Walks, you can hear it there. The Kanye Deception. And it's crazy that two guys that I really admired in my middle school, high school years, Kanye, Kojima, both have Rick and Morty sponsorships, and they both fell off this year. Like, confirmed fall off. Because Pablo came out a year after MGS5. Although I liked it, there's some things I liked about it. Overall, it was a mess. MGS5, although I liked it, overall the shit was a mess. And now here we are. We got Jesus is King, which is just a really surface level shitty Christian rap album. It might actually be one of the better Christian rap albums.
I was gonna say no. That's actually. If you want to put it as a rap gospel album, that's probably the greatest rap gospel album I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to all that rock and Christian rap and all that horse shit,
it's hard. It's tough.
Just production.
Although Lecrae isn't bad,
huh?
Lecrae is pretty good, but yeah, Kanye, production wise, this destroys any Christian thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. As two fans like that pretty much grew up playing the games and listening to the music is shit. Anybody who's listening to this right now that is in my age group, we were sophomores in high school when the College Dropout came out. Okay, so whoever says that they didn't grow up in my age group says that they didn't grow up listening to Kanye, you're full of shit, and go fuck yourself.
No, going back to the Christian rappers, they may have God on their side, but they generally don't have the producers on their side.
Nigga.
Because, those beats.
God ain't on their side neither. You know why? Because God didn't give them the talent to rhyme. They can't write. They can't write a fucking rap song.
They could.
To save their life.
All of them.
To save their soul.
It's just, it comes off as cornball. There's just certain things, like rapping about video games. It always come off as corny.
Yeah, man.
That's why people don't like Logic. Although he could rap, he'd just be rapping about like Rick and Morty. Like, people don't want to hear that shit.
Like social injustices. Like the suicide song.
Yeah, the PSA song.
Yeah. It's like, alright, cool. Like, who you make that song for? The public in general? Like, I get it. But
somebody said, damn, Logic made suicide corny.
Yo, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but I saw that. I'm like, damn.
He made suicide corny. That's fucked up.
Yeah, the internet is fucking undefeated, dude.
For real, man. Hey, man, something else that I wanted to mention today. Because I recently got a new phone. I got the Pixel XL, the Pixel 4 XL. And just like how I see people, talking shit about Hideo Kojima and all this shit, I find it awesome that they're doing that. I truly believe that the heat that this phone is taking from all these like online blogs is a result from buying a fucking phone every single year and reviewing phones expecting something different every single year. Me personally, I had the LG G6 because I'm an Android user. I'm not a big Apple user. I have a MacBook Pro. I'll even give the iPads a shot because they're great products. But when it comes to the phone, I just prefer Android, and that it's just my choice in the matter. Well, I have been using the LG G6 for about 3 years. It finally died. Like, it gave out because the screen was broken and it got wet and it was done. I was lent an iPhone 7 Plus for about a couple of weeks, for about almost a month. And I finally got this Pixel 4. And it's a great phone. It has a great screen. It's fast as shit. It takes great pictures. The sound on it is on point. All the little features that Google talked about are pretty dope. And I keep seeing people talking about how of a terrible phone it is. It's not worth the price tag and all this other shit. And it's like, yo, haven't people been buying iPhones for the past fucking 8 years, and it's the same thing, just more expensive every year?
Yeah.
Well, and no one says shit about that.
I think this year is one of the few years where they made it a little cheaper.
Yeah. And people were talking shit about this phone because...
Well, these are the same people that say the iPhone is user-friendly and the Android isn't. When I could get lost in the fucking iPhone shit, too. Like, there wasn't a back button. That shit wasn't user-friendly to me.
Yeah.
You think the lack of a headphone jack is user friendly?
That's true. But yeah, but
they're
nowadays
not consumer friendly. Yeah.
Nowadays, almost everybody's.
I'm glad my Pixel 3a has it.
Has what
the headphone jack? Yours? Is yours?
No, it doesn't. But at the same time, all you need is a little dongle that goes on the bottom of it, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I find that stupid. There.
But then, how the fuck do you charge your shit?
You got to buy another dongle with both of them. So you got this two things hanging on the bottom of your fucking phone.
Yeah. I truly believe that won't be, like, at least wireless, like, at least Bluetooth won't be good until you can make it as good as actually directly connected to the device. But let me not stray. What I'm pretty much leading up to is, why the fuck do people complain so much? This phone to me is dope as shit. I took a picture of my pops the other day in night mode, and it looked amazing. I'm not expecting night vision pictures, but it looked dope. Another thing, like I said, it's fast as shit. The Google Assistant, mind you, I've been using Android since the G1, and how just from tapping, how it goes from you tapping down to like you being able to actually look for whatever you're looking for. I remember that process would take a split second. Yeah, it was fast then for what it was, but as you see it evolve and it becomes faster and faster, at this point it's amazing. From what I had, which was a G6, which is just a 3-year-old phone, to just seeing how this is here, just saying okay Google is amazing. I'm sure just now it picked it up and it's ready to fucking help me out on something.
You know what I find lame about mine? I don't know if you could change this, but I say, okay, Google, change song. Okay, you need to unlock the phone for this. I'm like, don't you already recognize my voice?
I think...
Don't you already fucking know that it's me? Isn't that the fucking thing point of voice recognition is?
Yeah.
Me doing the voice test?
Yeah, I think...
you know if I could change that, Chris?
I think you have to say, okay, Google, and then next song.
Yeah, I do that, and then it says, okay, you have to unlock your phone for this.
Oh, and I don't know. Maybe it's your phone, cause shit. What the fuck? See that shit? That was my fucking phone.
That was Google.
Yeah, but like I said, it's response time and its response in general is just so quick now that I'm impressed by it, and I can't handle. It's not that I can't handle. I just can't stand these people who are just bitching about the phone and all these articles online that are just these clickbaity titles, and it kind of really deters from the phone. And who the fuck is out here buying a phone every year anyways?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on people reviewing phones, because to me, to really review a phone, you should have it for at least a year or two.
Exactly.
You got Marquez over here playing with the phone for 4 hours and freaking saying, oh, it's good or bad. All right, cool. That's good or bad for those 4 hours, but those 4 hours are honestly the least important. What's got to be important is 80 weeks into my phone, I'm in the middle of I'm in a hiking fucking trip, and my phone fucking freezes when there's a bear
Yeah. Or, like you said, months, a year into it, and you got to see how good your battery life is. Because, fuck, I'll tell you right now, my phone, I leave it charging overnight. From a 100% charge from when I wake up to when I get back home from work, which is usually like around 5 or 6, that phone hasn't died.
Yeah.
It's usually like at 15%.
Uh-huh.
And I don't see an issue with the battery life so far. And mind you, this is an Android phone. You know how Android phones are notorious for having shitty batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see an issue with it. I really don't. I have the XL, but people, I guess people are having an issue with the normal one. But me personally, I haven't had an issue at all with this phone. I find it awesome. So for you to sit here and be like, oh, it's a it's a letdown and it's not worth it. Dude, last year the Pixel 3 XL was it was, I think, $100 more, almost $200 more. And it didn't have all the same features. Dude, just solely the motion sense, for it being its first of its kind, I guess, on a phone.
Yeah,
I find it pretty dope. Yeah, it's limited. I'll be the first one to tell you it's very limited. It doesn't have what I thought was gonna have, for example, like a pause, like a way to pause, a way to lower and higher the volume, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't see an issue with this phone by any means. And whoever's bitching about it is people who apparently get phones every single year and expect something different. You know, or something like a leap in technology in these phones that is more than what they had last year. Like, yeah, technology evolves super quick, but I don't know where people get the idea that the evolution takes, you know, this, you know, huge leaps and bounds come from one generation to the next.
I never really knew this was a standard, because ever since Jobs died, what the fuck has Apple really been? What's been their big thing? This is like usually their things, like their big things like iCloud or whatever, the fingerprint, it's derivative stuff. This is pretty new. I can't tell you any other phone with this.
Yeah, and I find it dope.
Like, yeah, this is a new way of navigating a phone. It's the first version, so it's obviously not going to be the best. And I'm sure when Apple does it, they're going to do it great.
No, of course,
the thing
that's
is,
what they do.
They're like Japan in the 80s. They take the American automobile and they just perfected it. They took animation, perfected it.
Yeah, that's true. That's what they did. They yeah, that's what they did in the 80s. Holy shit, that's a good point. And then, you know, when Apple comes around and they do it, then it'll be this new, and
they legitimize it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating new tech, and it's this new shit, and by that time, most people with Androids are gonna be looking at it like, yo, that's fucking old tech.
Yeah.
Sorry, but excuse me, that is old tech. But you know how people are, consumers in general don't really fucking know what they're buying until, you know, they're told to buy it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and yeah, Pixels. I have a Pixel 3. I really like it. What I do like about it is that it still has the Android identity. I don't have a Pixel 4, but just looking at it, I feel like they're kind of getting away from their identity and trying to be like iPhone. I miss the original Android design.
Yeah, I like the back button.
And Android has always been about choice. I don't know why there isn't a choice to, you know, for either or. Because I'm sure there's probably iPhone users who probably don't like iPhone anymore or had to get an Android for cost reasons. I'm sure they'd like the slide thing better. But give us old school Android users an option.
Yeah, exactly.
To be able to switch.
Exactly.
Because the reason I find Android's more user friendly is because of the back button and the customizable screen.
Yeah. The thing with those Androids that I've always liked is that you can pretty much, you know, fuck with them.
Yeah.
With iPhones, they've been very limited on that.
Mm-hmm,
you
exactly.
really can't. That's always been my thing with them.
But yeah, bro, we've been going on for an hour and 3 minutes, man. I think we could wrap this up.
Holy shit! You know what? Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah,
talked about the Ks.
Yeah, we talked about the Ks.
The decay of the Ks.
Exactly. And I got to put in my little pitch for this Pixel 4 because honestly, ladies and gentlemen, if you want something cool, something, you know, get a different Android phone because there's hundreds of them. My brother-in-law has the OnePlus, and that thing is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
They have some phones, I forget which one it is, that has like a 48 megapixel camera.
That's ridiculous.
Right? And with these screens, it's super dope. It's super, super dope. Oh, here's one crazy thing. Going back to what we were saying about Apple, that they perfect or whatever. Mm-hmm. They just put down their patent for a 90 hertz refresh rate screen, which my phone has.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For phones?
For phones.
They have it for the iPad.
Yeah, for the iPad. But now they're trying to patent it
for phones, yeah.
For the phone. So it's like, come on, man. You know?
Yeah, they make everything sexy.
Exactly, they make everything sexy. But yeah, like Jeff said, We've been going for about an hour. We're going to call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And have a great week.
Peace.
Peace out.